Hi guys, hello Sagittarius, welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. For those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Sag, this is going to be your May reading for 2023. I was meditating. A lot of very different messages came in. I'm going to adjust. I think we're a little crooked here too. A lot of different messages had come in for you guys. I kind of feel like the way that it came in at the end of the day is that there's something that is trying to cycle out for you. It's something that it's like an internal knowing, an internal knowledge, an internal fire that's burning. I feel like it's certain things that you just may not want to be addressing at this time for whatever reason. Spirit is saying people, places, and things may be trying to get your attention at this time as well. So we're going to dive into the cards to get a more in-depth understanding of what's going on. I did see these two lines. The two cards that came up to me were the Two of Wands, waiting, trying to decide what direction you're going to go, and then the Seven of Wands. So we'll see how those cards play out in your reading, Sag. And I'm sorry that these May readings are getting out a little bit late. So Sag, this will be for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus cross watcher. If that is you, welcome to the channel as well. Guys, always discern the messages accordingly. You know the drill if you're familiar with tarot. And if not, you'll pick up pretty quickly if you watch a few. For everybody who has liked, shared, commented, and subscribed to the channel, I appreciate each and every single one of you. And for those of you who have booked Mercury retrograde, booked personal readings with me, thank you as well for putting your trust and faith in me. So, Sag, Earth in transition. I do feel like there's a higher spiritual realm trying to reach out to you. There's a knowing, there's a need to know specific information at this time. And I think that it's kind of like in your subconscious, you know that something is nagging. It's kind of like when something's nagging at you, or like you're hungry, you're craving something, you're not sure what it is. It's kind of like that inner knowing is like nagging at you and you're not quite sure what it is as well. Dynamic 23 breaks down to a 5. Fives are very indicative of change. 36, prosperity and healing. What I am hearing too, side note, in regards to the prosperity, is that your finances are healing in due time. It's time to slow down, take another look at your finances at this time as well, where you're spending money, where it's not serving you, because we're in Taurus season, right? I always think of the Knight of Pentacles, or the Page of Pentacles with that. It's slow-moving offers of the abundance and the things of that nature. Our finances, our stability, our investments, those things very much root and grounded energy. So be cognizant of that. Prosperity 36 breaks down to a 9, and then healing breaks down to an 11 or a 2. So dynamic, the frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. It helps us to put together a reality that is made up of many different elements, both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and great joy. You know, that's a matter of integrating all the various things in your life and learning the lessons of the past, moving forward into the new things as well. What I personally, my experience with Sagittarius is that it's very hard to start something new and stick with it. So I would say to you, you know, you may be trying to stick with a routine, a regimen, changes. Be carefree in what you're doing. Don't take it so seriously. Loosen up the grips of the seriousness. Play with that energy. Play with what's coming towards you and how it's working out, because it's going to make it a lot easier, you know, than if you're being very serious and it's like the end of the world kind of feeling. Loosen up the grips of control. Okay. Prosperity, the frequency of prosperity supports our feeling of well-being by allowing the inclusion of everything that makes our body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit sing. It invites us to express ourselves in joy and celebration of the abundance and riches that the universe provides. And Spirit is also saying to me to be appreciative of that. You know, it's about your vibrational energy. Are you coming in from a good space? Because, you know, like attracts like as well. So is it feeling right to you? Are you feeling good? Are you living in that vibration? Or is there this, and Spirit is also giving me this nagging feeling too to the back of the mind space of things that maybe you have tucked away that you can't make sense of, that are creating doubts, or you're questioning things, you know, so make sure that you're not sitting in a frequency of those things. Maybe like, oh, you know, I need a raise, I want a raise, I deserve a raise, I've been doing this for so long. But in the back of your head, you're always going, there's no way it's going to happen. You know, it's about the frequency in which you're vibrating on, so pay attention to that. And this card of healing, it's pretty self-explanatory. You could be healing the physical body, the mental, the spiritual, all aspects. But I think that you are working towards healing these things, but I'm not sure that you have a full awareness yet of how these things are working out for you. So Sag, let's dive into some more cards here and see what's happening. Sagittarius Spirit. Spirit is also talking about having hindsight. So you may be looking back on certain things and going, I wish I wouldn't have said that. I did get a lot of throat chakra energy for you guys. Playful. That's what I said. Just, there it is. 44, playful. Don't be so serious about what you're doing. Play with all of the things that are coming in for you, you know, but also be aware of what might be tempting you to. You know, you're going to have to find that balance between the two. So for some of you, you know, you could be playing a lot and should be doing it a little less. For others of you, wherever these regimens or ideas are, or these changes that need to take place, I do feel like there's more of a serious connotation. It just seems to be very heavy when you're contemplating how you're going to do. You know, if you're counting calories as an example, it's like, God, I only have X amount of calories that I can have in the day. Make a game of it, you know. Just go, instead of having 2,000, I'm only going to do 1,800. Watch how low I can go. But obviously, with that, you have to have so many too. So, you know, just be aware of that. And with the success on the bottom, like if you are being a little more lighthearted about it, it's going to work out better. Don't take things so seriously. I'm going to say even in regards to relationships too, it's like letting the smoke clear, letting the fog clear, letting things settle down so that you can actually enjoy it rather than aggressively going after whatever whatever this might be for you. So another card for Sag. Individuality. First and foremost, you are blessed and protected always. For some of you, I think you may be at a space spiritually, vision. You may be looking at life in the sense of who you are without family. And that's going to sound a little strange for some of you, I'm sure. But what I mean by this is very simple, that there's you. There's the conditions that we're brought up under. There are the things that we see. This may go back to childhood for some of you. There is some feminine energy to this. But you are protected in the sense that it's okay if you push against the grain in the way that allows you to express who it is that you are at the end of the day. So you may be looking at family, you may be looking at things, maybe outdated patterns, outdated belief systems of the way you were raised, and then recognizing that that's not quite who you are. But it's like, if I don't fit into that with them because I'm part of that, who am I at the end of it all? And it's like, you do have, I think for a lot of you, you're really in a space where you do see yourself as being something and somebody completely different than what you've been brought up to be, or who you thought you were, or a preconceived notion from other people as to who you were going to be at the end of the day. Some people may not like it. That's just the harsh reality to it. They may not like it, but it's not about them. It's about you. It's about where you're headed and where you're being guided to go. It's where your soul is calling you and pushing you forward. So always, though, it needs to be in a higher space. You know, vibrational energy. It needs to be in a higher space for you. So, Sag, let's see. Let's get some past, present, future for the month of May for Sag. Solar plexus energy and healer of the ages. I think you guys are really starting to come into a space of awakening where it's time to get your butts moving. It's time to recognize those traumas, those patterns. I talked about that Two of Wands. This, to me, in this deck is very much indicative of that. The indecision card. Which way am I going to go? That is the Two of Wands of this particular Oracle deck. I talked about that earlier. I'm going to slide that back in there because it was kind of hesitant, but I wanted to see what it was. Spirit is saying to stay or to go. You know, and for everybody, your situations are going to be different. Relationships, doors to romance, fourth chakra, heart, the heart chakra. There we go. Couldn't spit it out. And then behind that, contract. Some of you may be dealing with soulmates at this time. You may be dealing with people that are coming in for a reason, a season, and a lesson. And that is okay. Take it for exactly for what it is. I do think that you're opening yourself up to the idea, and Spirit is saying that love may look very different for you. Maybe there was a, you know, again, a belief system on how this had to work. Maybe your parents were married, you know, for 50 years or whatever it's been. And then, you know, for you, you just don't see love that way. So it's, you know, our times have changed. The dynamic has changed, obviously, with that dynamic card sitting there as I say that. But I think that it's going back to your relationships to heal these. Cornucopia, you guys have a lot of 11s. You got 3 11s here on the board. And let's see, Spirit, one more for Sagittarius for the month of May. What do they need to know? Don't hold yourself back. I almost feel like you're contemplating on how it is that you're going to come into something, how you're going to work with something. Spirit is saying shoot your shot. Take your shot. Like, if whatever this is, whatever you're feeling, I do feel like this is very much related to self-love and to potential relationships in your life. And we know how I feel about relationship readings. Not my favorite thing to do. But at the same time, there's that 7 of Wands that I talked about. It's like you're kind of, with this Garden in the Gate, you're kind of holding back. You're kind of reserving yourself as to whether or not you're going to take a forward step. And I do feel like part of that indecision is the Strategy card came out in the sideways position. And as you guys know, if you're familiar with me, I read cards in sideways position. To me, this is, again, a little bit of indecision on how you're going to make this happen, the way you're going to turn this into, you know, what it is that you're envisioning for yourself or maybe for those around you as well. So we will see. Lots of 3s with this too. 3s, and that dynamic has 3 points. The pyramid, right? It's got 3 points. So let's see what's... Be careful, Spirit is also saying, be careful of your entanglements. So you guys know what that is. You know, finish one thing up before you start another. That's going to be very important as well. Okay. There's, you know, and part of that healing, there we go. The Lover's card. I usually, you know, but then again, we've got that 2 of Wands I talked about in the reverse. Needing to make a decision, needing to you know, make that drive happen for whatever it is that you're going to go. I think that you've been sitting in a place of standstill for a very long time when it comes to yourself, when it comes to people that you're dealing with, not willing to make that choice because that choice just seems extremely complicated. Like, I feel like for some of you too, you're fearful that whatever these dynamics are going to become extremely complicated if you make a decision. Make a decision. Do what is best and highest for your soul's growth. If it's to stay, then to stay. If it's to go, then it's to go. If it's to start something new, start something new. Whatever it might be. But it's time to get yourself moving, because I feel like you're in a place of stagnancy again, Sag. You know, I know I've looked at that for you guys before, or looked at the, you know, it's come up in the readings before, and there's always this place of stagnancy because, you know, there's a need to walk away from something. I'm sorry that the lighting keeps changing. The clouds are shifting. You need to walk away into your wish fulfillment. I feel like, I think for some of you too, I talked about the self-doubt in the back of the mind. This could be the idea that if you walked away, that this is the only way that you could see, you know, maybe it's only a person you could see yourself with, or you only seen yourself living a certain way because of the family values and things like that. And it's like, am I walking away from something that is meant for me? If it feels off, that's your body signaling to you that it's not meant for you. If it doesn't feel right, you're going to know that it's not meant for you. If you have doubt about something, that doubt is there. As long as it's not being triggered by fear, ask yourself where it's coming from. That's, you know, talking to the ego. But at the same time, it's also an awareness that something doesn't quite feel right. I mean, when you meet something or somebody, you know, it's like if you guys were to walk into my metaphysical store and all of a sudden you feel at home, it feels good to you. You instantly know that there's something about it for you. If you meet somebody and all of a sudden there's just that immediate clicked connection, you know that there's something about this person. Now to understand what it is, why it is, and how it's going to work in your life. Don't overthink it though. Just be in the state of flow. All right, let's clarify this doors to romance for... I feel like for a lot of you, maybe love hasn't come as easy as you thought it would. It could be attached to conditions. It could be attached to everybody else's preconceived notion of who it is that you're supposed to be. I feel like that there's been a lot of disappointments in the past related to this, and this has kind of put you in a position of not knowing whether to stay or to go, and that's where a lot of that indecisive energy comes from. Father of Wands. King of Wands, there you are, Sag. And it could be Aries or Leo as well. But it's like, I feel like there's this internal, oh God, Five of Swords, Ace of Cups, Five of Wands, Five of Cups. You could be dealing with a Scorpio with a Five of Cups too. That's some scorpionic energy. I will say that it's like, through the lying, the cheating, the deception, the heartbreak, the loss, the hurt, trying to protect yourself, maybe somebody else was playing that role in your life. That's where a lot of this loss and sorrow and sadness comes from. There's where a lot of this internal conflict is coming from. Spirit is also saying not being able to meet the expectations of other people around you. So it's like if you've had people, I don't want to just say naysayers, but people who, you know, you could go to them and say, hey, I just did X, Y, and Z, which was the greatest thing. Okay, now what? There's no time for celebration to enjoy your successes. They always just want to know what the next thing is. So it's like you're constantly fighting to live up to an expectation, and it's always leading you back into disappointment. But I do feel like for a lot of you, in the same breath, for as strong and as poignant as you attempt to be, there's a lot of twists and turns that are running internal with this fire energy that I feel from that. Some of you have a case of the fuck it's as well. It's like, whatever happens, happens. But I don't think that that's coming from a healthy place. I think that whatever happens, happens is coming from a place of, I've been disappointed before, so what if I'm disappointed again? It's not coming from a state of flow, a place of playful curiosity. It's just coming from, well, ride this wave and see how they're going to disappoint me today. That's how that feels to me. You're entertaining low-lying energies, or have in the past, and you're taking that same mindset forward with you, which is causing, you know, this need of choice, because inside you know that there's more to it than that. There's a need to step outside of that, but yet here you are in this internal conflict of, it's almost like self-sabotage is what I'm going to say. Self-sabotaging energy. It's like, well, if it goes great, great. If it doesn't, oh well, like, I'll just ride the roller coaster again. There's those patterns. There's those repeats. There's those cycles. Why do we continue to do this? It's not serving of you at all. All right, that's dropping stuff. Hold up. All right, let's clarify. I'm struggling. Me and Mercury retrograde are having a time lately. All right. All right, for this cornucopia, Spirit. You're very interesting, Sag, right now, because your light is, there's a lot of need to want to move on, and it feels good. And that's what I mean, like paying attention to what is, you know, when you step into situations or engaging with things or people, how it makes you feel, because it's like you're finally, you may, some of you moving forward, even presently, you may be walking away from the burdens of the past. Finally, hallelujah. Walking away, opening yourself up to love and comfort. You know, that Ten of Wands in the reverse, to me, it's putting them down. You know, and I look at the Ten of Wands a lot of the times, you know, he's still pushing through. That Ten of Wands is, they're just falling. They're being let go, and that Eight of Cups there is walking away. It's, you've climbed the mountains, you've done the work, you've pushed through. There's nothing left emotionally to give to situations anymore, and you're coming out as the Page or the Knight of Cups, opening yourself up to love, something that can be a little charismatic, something that can be a little offering of that heart space, something that wants to make you feel good. It's like, here, you want to share? It's very curious. It's very, it can be very playful energy, charming energy, engaging energy. So in this, I think, as you're stepping out of anything from the past, of these sorrows, you know, and timelines are different for all of you. So some of you could be in that space still. Some of you may be out of that space. Some of you may be on that space. It's going to be different, right? But it's like, as you're coming out of this, you're recognizing that there's light on the other side. It doesn't have to be dark. It doesn't have to be disappointing. It doesn't have to hurt your feelings. You're starting to play with other energies that are bringing them together. The interesting thing about the Son of Cups is if you look at the lines on both sides, they merge together. And they're on a higher frequency. They're going up, right? They're leveling up. They're moving up. They're coming to a higher point. Where everything in the past was just flatlined. I mean, you look in the background of that. It's just straight across. It's horizontal. But it's elevating. It's an elevating feeling that you're gaining whenever you are aware of how you're feeling about certain things. So Sag, I like this for you. This is a pretty simple and basic reading, nothing too crazy. But it's about changing. It's about change. You guys seem to have struggled with change for a while now. But it's all right. Like, you know, we go through that. We have to figure it out. And then once we get it, you know, we make sense of it, I think, in the human mind, we kind of go off to the races and don't think about it anymore. We're moving forward. This garden and the gate. Spirit for the month of May for Sag. Ooh. For Sag Spirit. The Death card. Okay, Sag. 6 of Pentacles. I heard Spirit say you may be circling back around to something. That 6 of Pentacles, the 6s are, you know, rewards and celebration, things that are equaled out in balance, Wheel of Fortune, a positive turn in events. Sag, I'm going to tell you, you've got Scorpio, Sag, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, and you've got more Scorpio. You've got Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and who am I missing? Missing somebody. Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius. Yeah, that's it. Having a moment. Those are the signs that are very prominent in your reading. Very heavy Scorpio energy. Very heavy water energy. Again, those emotions. So with that, you know, it's like, I feel like you've created, and this is interesting energy I've never gotten from this card before, you've created and kind of like stuck your existence up on a shelf. All right, it's like you kind of made your way. And now it's like you've got all these fruits of your labor. You got the fruits of the things that were important. And I'm going to say probably more materialistic than relationships, whether it's romantic or not, okay? Now it's understanding that there's a vast horizon beyond where you are. That there's more to life than what you've created. It's what it is that you get to bring together. You know, do you have friends to share in the fun with of the things that you've created? Are you having cookouts? Are you having barbecues? Are you doing those kinds of things? Do you have a person that you want to share those things with? You know, and it's like there's a hesitancy to move away from the comforts that you've created. And it's not that you have to relinquish those, but it's learning how to incorporate other things too, that are going to give back to you. With that Death card there, card of Leo, again, could be dealing with a Leo. It is finding the strength and the courage to move forward. It is finding the need of change to occur, the know that you can move in a positive direction, a transformational direction, to incorporate endings and beginnings. We're all closing cycles out and opening new ones all the time. It's a given. But it's like, do I go out there and offer those things to other people? Do I offer to share that? Because it's like, if it's not balanced, if it's not fair, if it's not even exchange, the answer is no. But again, you know, you're going to know. You know, maybe growing up and going back to that old mindset, love was conditional, right? So if love was conditional, you spent time giving to something so that they would love you and accept you in return somehow. I think that you're becoming aware of these patterns. Because as you're opening up and starting to play with other energy, you're starting to get a different feel for things that is unfamiliar to you in that dynamic. You're stepping into it with grace and joy and ease, and that need to be playful back there. What is this strategy about for Sag? You guys have got, I don't want to, I'm going to call it a victim mentality. I really am. 8 of Pentacles, Hangman in the reverse position, the Devil. you guys keep tripping yourself up. I talked about that self-sabotage earlier. It's like you guys keep tripping yourself up. And there's like the old way of doing things, and then there's the new way of doing things. Where it's like you might lean back into giving too much or doing too much. Back into old patterns, old habits, old routines. The need to see it differently, but that's where that easiness, you know, the devil energy underneath that, toxicity, addictions, obsessiveness, control, greed, you know, anything that would just put you on your butt. Spirit is saying, please remember everything that you've worked for. Like if you've done really well for so long on certain things and all of a sudden you're finding yourself backsliding, it's time to recognize the work that you've put in before you lose it all. And I do like the fact that this Eight of Pentacles is more to the upright than it is in the reverse. But you have to bring yourself back into alignment to remember why you're here to begin with, or why you started a particular journey. Diet, health, exercise, relationships, cutting people out of your life, new jobs, new patterns, new routines, new stability, whatever it is for you guys. That's where you have to put your faith back into why you started this to begin with. Don't entangle yourself with low-lying energy. All right? No sabotaging. No self-sabotage. All right. Let's get you guys a card of advice. For Sagittarius, please, Spirit. This Mercury retrograde has got me all like, I don't even know. It's almost like I can't even hear myself today. All right, Sag. Wisdom of the Divine Feminine. I said there was a lot of feminine energy in this reading earlier. And there it is. Unplug from mass consciousness. Yep. Undo their way of thinking for you. This Wisdom of the Divine Feminine, a 9. We had that with the Prosperity card. This lady, I just see her as abundance. I see her as happy. I see her as flattered. I see her as giving. I see her as hope. But she's fixated. I'll say that. She is very fixated on a specific point. Don't be afraid to open up your vision. Don't get tunnel vision in your endeavors. Is very, very important as well. Very poignant. Yeah. New growth is there, Sag. It's there. And I like this because it reminds me, I'm going to show these to you. This reminds me a lot of the cornucopia card. You can see those. The beautiful, the bright, the stuff that feels good, right? Lots of purple, lots of gold. Let's read it. Let's see what it says. All right, number 9. Divine feminine wisdom empowers you to grow into your vision, your dreams, and the fulfillment of your life's purpose. Perhaps you envision a very different life for yourself than what you're experiencing now. We talked about that. This wisdom reminds you that you can experience even the most extraordinary dreams as reality if you are willing to grow into what you desire, to become what you seek. Surrender any plans about how you can best manifest your dreams, and instead allow life to guide and nourish you through your experiences each day. The universe supports your divine destiny and is helping you become all aware of all you are meant to be. When the wisdom of the divine feminine reaches for you, the message is clear. You are in a process of becoming more of a heaven on earth. Sometimes there are growing pains alongside the joy such growth brings. You may feel concerned, thinking your pain is an indication that you are failing in some way. You may judge your suffering as a sign that you are not operating at a high enough frequency. Yet many spiritual masters upon this planet have endured great suffering, as well as experiencing tremendous love and joy in the fulfillment of their divine destiny. Growing pains are just part of the feminine path of creation, of breaking through what has become too small for you. There is a joy in the eventual freedom, but the act of breaking through can feel painful at times. When things are difficult or you are feeling doubt, when you feel that you need to do something that scares you and challenges you at the depths of your being, you are experiencing growing pains. They will pass and you will benefit from the growth. However, you need to know that whilst this difficulty is in your life, the divine is very much with you, encouraging you, believing in you so much that it will deliver a tough lesson. You can handle it for however long it needs to continue, and that won't be forever. This oracle also brings you a message about how much the divine feminine loves you and wants to help you grow with the least struggle and the most peace. If you don't listen to her, instead choosing to believe in fear, you may be terrified of your growing pains. You won't be sure if they will ever end. You may doubt your ability to turn adversity into triumph, and you may lose faith instead of trusting that life has your best interest at heart, and that you are capable of meeting any challenge that arises. Instead of trusting, you may believe that the world isn't safe. This can keep you paralyzed in self-defeating, self-harming patterns. While these may give you a temporary, familiar satisfaction, ultimately these patterns mean you will continue to struggle and suffer under the weight of addiction or emotional pain. You deserve so much more than that. The divine feminine speaks to you now and promises that if you are willing to show up in your life each day and trust in the circumstances before you, she will guide you into the most beautiful divine destiny. It is safe to trust her. She wants for you only the best and most beautiful life journey, one perfectly suited for all that you are and all that you can be. Your heart beats in perfect rhythm and the heart of love at the center of our universe. Trust your heart and trust life. All is progressing beautifully as you are guided even deeper into your divine fulfillment. There you go, Sag. Like I said, it wasn't anything, hello kitty, it wasn't anything too crazy, which is probably a good thing, right? But it's just the need for recognition. There we go. To just keep moving forward. Don't go back into things that are comfortable simply because the fear alone lives within you. I mean, we've all got fear in our lives. But it's a need to ask ourselves, is it worth getting ourselves tied up and out of space of alignment for the things that makes us feel good? So this can be romance, this can be wherever it fits for you, but just do not go back to the same old bullshit, because it's gonna hold you back at the end of the day. Step out of that masculine energy, embrace the feminine, step into your power through doing that, male or female, it does not matter. We all have masculine and feminine traits within us. It's who we are as humans. It is the balance, it is the yin and the yang. So simple, but very important message, that just stay the course. All right, guys, I'm wishing you a beautiful May. I'll get you guys out some more videos here in the near future. If you found this video resonated for you, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, comment to the channel. Keep comments nice and happy and loving. Also, check us out at holisticallyzenwv.com. You'll find my metaphysical store on there. And then you check us out on Facebook and Instagram at IndigoMoonWV. So I'm sending you guys so much love and light. And if you're interested in a personal reading, information is found in the description box below, as well as the about section of the page. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon. Bye.